the sustainable approach in our field, saying that our field is not just shaping architecture, but together different pieces done with engineering, done with sustainable concepts, done with energy saving, and done with consciousness about our world, not just our nature, but our world, our way of living. So all those aspects together, they produce an holistic system that we could summarize with this diagram called the holistic approach about design and architecture. So we have to remember that recycled materials are important. We can recycle steel, we can recycle aluminum and glass, and every single element of the building that we will see is related to recycle. This was a building done for Italian Railways in Milan. This is an ADP center. I wanted to show this to you because of the concept that we wanted to have in this building related to the railways world. This building is done with simple pieces, and every piece is related to the world of the railways. So the understanding of the location of the building, this building is a sort of train inside the world of the trains. When you work in an office, the problem normally is the direct light. When direct light is too strong, it could be a problem working at the desk and using computer. So in this case, this is quite an old building, 12 years old. In this case, we wanted to protect from the direct light the facades with the sunscreen that stays in the top of the building. The building will be completely different. This building has the shape of the train because of its context, but the detailing of the building, it will be quite the same, even in our last one. So the detail is related to the use, the shape is related to the place. This is a big factory for Fiat done in the southern part of Italy, and the relation between the existing here was to understand which is the most important building not far from this factory that we could use as a symbol. This is a Roman theater. This was the symbol, the urban symbol that we used in the center part of the factory. Landscape all around the factory was like this, and we even had some historical buildings. The central core, the central part, is done for the offices, the restaurant, computer center, and the service uses. And you see how the shape, the round shape of the theater shaped our plan, with an intention to create a form from up, but with the other intention to hide completely the form when you are inside the building. Because from down, this shape is just done with lines, prefabricated elements, and just lines done with a really flat use of the building. Though this building is a really long one, really flat, and is meant to be hidden in the nature, even if the sight from the aerial view is something quite strong. This is the final shape of the building in the ground, and we decided to mitigate the big volumes with horizontal lines. Those horizontal lines are a sort of reproduction of the horizon. The line between the sky and the ground, reproduced for different times. Sorry. So this creates a vibration of the facades used to be something useful to mitigate the big volumes. In this building, we designed 4 kilometers of facades. So how was important this context? How was important this concept to create a relation between the context and the building is something that just the picture can show. This is a building, a school, a training center in Turin. Here we had the same design wheeling, but in a linear form. In this case, the central part of the building was an industry, and we decided to build in the perimeter to create a school and offices and a conference center. Sustainability here is done with materials, insulation, sun protection, and natural ventilation from underground. This is another building we wait to build it. An office building for Italian television company in Turin. Sustainability here is done with use of the thermal mass of the building. The concrete will be used at night to create cool inside the building through natural ventilation. And the facades are protected in different ways in relation to their exposition. This is the building that is better known in Italy. This is a building that we have done for FERRARI, a factory. When we arrived, the existing building was a really important one. The existing building was this one. This one was a wind tunnel done by master Renzo Piano, and the first thing that I wanted to do when I arrived, and I knew that I had to build and I had to design something on the opposite side of the road, this one, a bigger building, was to understand how it was possible to operate without destroying this important but really small building. So we decided to create a sort of counterbalance of shape, creating facades more or less the same dimension of the wind tunnel on the opposite part of the entrance. And this was useful to cut in pieces the industrial pavilion. When I said that the important part of the sustainable concept is which will be the future use. This now is a factory, but who knows what this factory will be in 40 years. So this building is easy to cut in pieces and easy to use because of the natural lighting from the top, the flat roof, the use of the photovoltaics completely hidden, and the easy demountable construction of facades and of the roof. We also created different architectural feeling in this building. This one is more urban feeling because we designed an urban square in front of this factory. And maybe you know that now when you start to think to a factory, the real question is that the factory is a small part of the factory building, because the big part of the building is an office building. So when you design a factory, you design an office building with a factory. The factory pavilion is big, is important, is an important element. The natural lighting inside is an important factor, but the people will stay for 70% of their time in the office, because the factory is an automatic one. So this is something that we considered. And this is the office building facing the factory. This is a south-facing facade with the sun protection, creating a sort of portico. The roof, photovoltaic roof, and the possibility to divide it in pieces, you see. We studied the roof quite carefully to provide a good natural lighting even if we decided to remove the shed element, the shed roof. Because with this thing, removing the shed roof, the volume, the total volume of the building decreased, and the energy saving was quite important. The construction of the building was easier. We had just to work in the position of the skylights and the dimension of the skylights. Nature is an important part of the project. So we have nature outside and inside the industrial building. Is a greenhouse creating heat during the off-season. So this heat is used inside the building. The greenhouse is self-ventilating during the summer, creates the ventilation of the chamber that is good to force the wind and to cool the facade. And you see from here the relation between inside and outside of the industrial building. Another building, again a small one, an existing building that now is a school. We decided to maintain the concrete part and to add new facades. We started here to use recycled aluminum and recycled steel with glass. And this was the prototype for other construction that we have done. This building is, again, something that changes the perspective of our concept, because in this case Ferrari wanted to have a restaurant that is something that would create a completely different space in relation to their industrial mind. I mean, the president of Ferrari wanted to have something that would have created a space for the workers in which it was possible to think to everything but of the work. So the sculptural shape of this is meant because of this. But the real meaning of this shape is sustainability, because this shape is a wing shape in the direction of the prevailing winds. The building is self-ventilated because of this, and the use of the big windows, east and west windows, is proper because of the use of the building itself. Inside, the restaurant is used at noon, and east-west elevations are not heated by the sun. The southern facade is completely closed, and the shape of the building is good for photovoltaics, because the banded part, this part here, this part of the roof is south-faced, so it's good for the photovoltaic, completely integrated. You see how different is this building from the others. But I'm proud to say that this sculpture is not just a sculpture, it is a concept related to the use and to sustainability. Again, materials, all the materials are recycled, and the natural ventilation is an important fact, also because of the stack effect and of this free cooling from north. This is another restaurant and services under construction in Mugello. Mugello is a place not far from Florence, and there is a track for motorcycles, well known. We worked for this concept design for the restaurant and for the renovation of the main building, this one, the main service building of the track. Here we used new facades meant to be a protective system for the existing one. So from the thermal point of view, this building changed completely. From the safety point of view, this building changed because we had to add safety stairs. So with the perimeter work and with some new towers, we created a system able to reuse the structure as it was. So when we started this work, somebody said, well, it's not working. Why don't we demolish everything? And we said, no, there is a possibility to work with this building, with this shape, creating new architecture too. plastic elements, they are done with plastic from the bottles, from the water bottles. And all the rest is aluminum and steel regenerated. But you can see that it's not right to say that if we use recycled material, the architecture is not good. I mean, the detail is never abandoned. Another existing tower. This building will go under construction in 4 months. The existing tower, the owner bought this tower to have an office building, again for computer, as I said, for computer use. And the tower will be completely regenerated in this shape. We decided to reuse the volume of the existing building, cutting it a little bit, cutting the volume here, and to reuse those corners with a new shape in the front. So this was important because the shape of the building changed completely, and we didn't face the big question in this case, the north facade. The north facade was not easy because the north facade was the main one, the entrance facade. So we decided to bend the building and to transform the north facade in east and west facade. The rest is still, it will be there. We maintained the whole structure and even the stairs. Even if the new rules, the new fire brigades rules for the stairs were completely changed, because this building now is a 25 years old building, so the rules changed completely. But nevertheless, we decided to maintain the box of the stairs, trying to demolish as less as possible. As I said, the use of the building is for a software house, so the employees there will use the laptop for the whole day. So the real question is how to protect from the direct sun the different facades. So we created a system done with 3 layers, 2 layers of glass, and the 3rd layer is sun protection, this sort of big net. And the shape of the net is different in relation to the different expositions. This is the main entrance, and in this part is a west facade is not as important to have the sunscreen, so the sunscreen disappears, but the sunscreen is present when the sun hits the facade in the afternoon. And this is the use of the sunscreen. In the afternoon, in the morning. We also use the water to create cool air in the night inside the building, and again from the thermal mass point of view, this is useful to cool the structure, and to have in the morning a cooled structure. This helps a lot. And this is the last building that I'm presenting, an extension of the airport of Turin, of our town. This is a big piece of land facing the airport, and the concept here was to create a sort of pavilions related together to hold a polyfunctional use. So the polyfunctional use is mainly commercial, but there is an hotel, 2 offices, 2 big office palaces, and a big park for the people. So the social value of this is another important issue. We just won the competition, and the shape of this pavilion is like this. We wanted to completely hide the pavilion in the nature, and we created a park all around the pavilion. Parking lots are hidden under the pavilion and between the trees. And we have a natural park in this area, here with the lake. Office building and the hotel. Commercial office building and different retail part. This is the concept of the building and the use of the nature inside the park. Parking lots done like this, hidden with porticos, a walking bridge, and the use of the pavilion inside. So natural lighting and trees are again one of the most important elements. The hotel, walking path, walking bridges, and the feeling of the retail part. But you see, the concept is the roof. In this case, the roof is something that will speak and will protect and will work. So the real project is this roof. And one time again, the element is something that will create good use and will be nice to be seen, and will be something that will create consciousness from the point of view of the architecture. I have prepared this one, the last slide for you, that tries to summarize with the concept, the different attitude of our work. The glider for us is a metaphor, because the glider is a sustainable machine, is a flexible machine because of the movement of the wings. It's something that is nice to be driven, so creates happiness from the point of view of the people that is looking at the drive, and from the point of view of the people that is using the glider itself. So this is a summary of the work that we have done. Thank you.